Hello and welcome back to my studio. I'm Gina, and in today's video I'm going to be tackling this really super cute little project, which is creating these little mini topiaries. I'm using some terracotta pots that I actually have bought for a completely different project actually, but these are going to work perfectly fine. I have painted them up just slightly to add a little bit more shadow and highlight on the pot, and I've already gone ahead and done that, but we're going to be using some toothpicks, a wooden bead, some flocking and a little bit of paint. So it's super simple and super effective. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So the toothpicks that I'm using are little cocktail sticks, and they've just got a little bit of texture on the end of them. And these are some wooden beads. They came in a pack of all different sizes, so I think this was sort of like the medium sized bead. And I'm just using a bit of wood glue to glue the toothpick inside the bead. In hindsight, I probably could have wrapped them in a little bit of paper just to make them a little bit more secure. The glue actually holds them in place perfectly well once they're dry. It just took a little bit of time to dry. And to bulk out the pots themselves, I'm just using some foam core board. So this is actually foam core board that's actually had the paper removed from both sides, and so it's just leaving the foam in the middle. And all I'm doing is cutting some squares and then just cutting the corners off the squares just to create a sort of round shape. It's just enough to actually be able to push inside the pot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 2 layers of foam to go inside the pot. And then once that's all in place, I'm actually going to poke a hole into it and then cover it with some flocking. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is just cut these to length, and I'm just going to eyeball it. I didn't really measure it out. I just sort of thought what would look okay. And in fact, you could probably use like 2 layers to create a double topiary if you wanted to. I might even do that in the future. That might be quite a cool little project. So yeah, I'm just taking a little bit of that same wood glue and then just using some flocking that I already had on hand. You could actually use just about anything. You could probably use some gravel or soil from the garden, that would also work, and then also just a little bit of paint could also work as well, so just enough to cover up the foam board. And so once they're all done, then I'm going to move on to painting out the stalks. So I'm just using some straight burnt umber paint. It's got quite a nice little warm colour to it, so once those are all done, then I'm just going to mix a bit of water or paint in with the water in with the paint. Both ways work, just to create a bit more of a stain. It doesn't really matter, you could use straight paint. I just felt that that worked better for this application because it actually flowed really nicely. And it's really just there to add a bit of colour blocking in behind this clump foliage. I've had this for quite a while, and it's sort of an artificial sponge-like texture. And all I'm going to do is just break it up into smaller pieces. Then I'm going to use a bit of sort of fabric glue, which actually is quite tacky, and it allows me a little bit of time to put the foliage on in as best a round shape as I can make it. So this was such a cool little project to do, and one that I would definitely repeat in the future. Probably look to do a double layered one, possibly. So that is it, and thank you very much for watching. This was a really simple, really cute little project that I just absolutely thoroughly enjoyed making, and it didn't take too long to put together. I think the most time in the project was actually the dry time of the glue and the paint. So really hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you like this one, please consider hitting that like button, and also if you haven't done so already, I'd love you to subscribe to my channel and come along on this journey with me. So thank you very much, and I will catch you in the next one.